Retrofitting a Corvette fan to a Becool radiator. It shouldn't be a big task. I think I just have to grind down these little tabs here, and I should be able to actually fit them right in here. So the goal here is to notch this radiator support around the contours of this radiator, which will allow me to reuse it, and I think I can do it. I made all the markings. You may not be able to see it, but I'm going to just try to nibble at this thing here with my little Dremel. Well, it's like hot wax. So I may have achieved the right depth on the cut, and we'll fit it in here. Okay. So again, this flange here I've cut out to accommodate the notch here and the notch here. Try to be a minimalist at this particular thing, but it actually fits right in there almost perfectly. Gives me enough clearance here for the radiator drain. If you look at this side, I'm also going to have to make the same kind of cuts. I've got this little ring right here, which is just about the exact diameter. And I'll scribe that. I'll cut these tabs off, and then I'll figure out how that's going to look there to give me a little bit of clearance, but that's going to be pretty easy. And this thing actually is probably going to mount almost flat flush down here and inside here, and I could just probably put a piece of rubber foam or something right down there to seal that if that's a big deal. And I'm actually thinking about keeping these two tabs here, and what I'm going to use these tabs for here is mounting my radiator overflow container that it's going to go right next to it, barring that I have the clearance. So I'm going to leave these for now and pretty much fasten this to the radiator. The cool thing is, if you look at the radiator, they actually have these little fastener supports that are drilled through, so I'll find a creative way to use those two pieces there. So I've got this little spacer, which I'm going to just fit on here. It's actually almost identical in size, and I actually took this off of my bicycle cassette, just one of those pieces I had, and it just was about the right size. So what I did was I laid the radiator in place from cutting those two pieces in over there, and I scribed this on the inside, and you can see where this is going to lay, and that's basically the cut I need to make. And I'm probably going to cut it a little wider too, just to leave myself a little bit of room for the radiator hose. I don't know exactly how thick it is, but I'm going to leave myself probably another 1/4 inch on top of that. So I'm going to go cut that out with probably a I guess a jigsaw. I don't have a bandsaw. Anyway, I'll cut it out. Alright, so made that little modification. It looks pretty good. I actually ended up using the Dremel with the sandpaper tip, and it chipped right at it really nicely. Actually, it melts it right off, and you can just kind of pull the little fibers off real nice and smooth. It's almost like P-Tex, but maybe it is P-Tex. I don't know. But now I just have to do some modifications right here, and we'll get that thing to pinch right down, and we'll put it right down. All right, so completion. I've got everything notched and fitted. Minimum damage to the radiator. So I dropped down a tape measure here to see this. So this Becool radiator, I opted for the wider one. They had 2 available on Holly. This one's just about 27 inches wide, but the reason I bought it wider is because, again, this fan shroud was out of a 2001 Chevy Corvette, which is where I acquired the LS motor right over there. And it seemed to work pretty good. And what I'm going to do here is, again, I've got some holes right here that are from the Becool when it was assembled, so I'll figure out a way to clamp this down here. What's interesting about this thing is it's actually, my cuts are square, but if you look at it, this hole here doesn't seem to want to rest where it wants to rest. I think it's warped a little bit because down here it's actually over the hole. I mean, I have a little bit of play here. I left myself a little room here, but it's definitely out of square, which is odd. But I'll get it clamped down and cinched down. It'll probably fasten real good. So there you have it. 2001 Chevy Corvette fan shroud. Well, electric fans, and all fastened here to a Becool radiator. That saved me a little bit of dough.